Tropical Cyclone Alfred continues its westerly track towards the southeast Queensland coast, expected to make landfall during tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at the details now as of Friday morning. The track map issued at 9 o'clock this morning shows our tropical cyclone warning extending from Double Island Point down to areas just north of Grafton, so still including the Sunshine Coast, Brisbane, the Gold Coast and the northern rivers of New South Wales. Tropical Cyclone Alfred is still a Category 2 system sitting over 150 kilometres to the east of Brisbane. It's quite slow moving though, so its position isn't changing much from one track map to the next. In the past 24 hours though, we've certainly seen the rain ramping up through northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland. Here are some of our top totals to 8 o'clock this morning. Now it's worth noting that a few of these locations, particularly through northeast New South Wales, have seen over 200 millimetres of rainfall on top of rainfall totals of over 200 millimetres from the day before. That means our 2-day rainfall totals are already well over 400 millimetres for some locations, particularly through northeast New South Wales. Similarly, we've seen our wind gusts increasing overnight. Not just the wind gusts in fact, but the mean wind speeds, so the general conditions. Around the Gold Coast, we've seen a wind gust of 100 kilometres an hour with very, very windy conditions throughout the whole night. We're expecting to see this wind and rain increasing through today. Looking at our radar now, we can see the bands of showers and storms pushing through northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland and wrapping around that cyclone system. As I said, we're going to see that wet weather only increasing and the winds as well, particularly through this afternoon with that coastal crossing forecast for tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at what we can expect for the rest of today. We're expecting Tropical Cyclone Alfred to continue moving very slowly towards the southeast Queensland coast. It'll stay as a Category 2 system today, bringing that rain and wind further onshore. The rain, first of all, is expected to be widespread through northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland. The heaviest totals, these dark blue and black areas on this map, are expected to the south of the system, but are possible anywhere along this stretch of coast. Similarly, with our winds, we are expecting to see very windy conditions and damaging wind gusts anywhere through northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland, but the strongest gusts are likely to be wrapping around the cyclone system. Our waves have already been enormous over the past couple of days. In fact, we've seen a record high wave at Brisbane, and we're expecting those very large seas, surf and swell to continue today. Now, we've seen a lot of vision, a lot of images of coastal erosion and local inundation along our beaches through southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales. We are expecting that to continue today. The waves will be huge and they may act unpredictably. They may come at odd intervals and take you unaware if you're just trying to get a look at the surf. As we go into tomorrow morning, the system will make its crossing, likely somewhere between Noosa and Coolangatta. We expect the system to remain at Category 2 intensity once it reaches those outer islands, but it may weaken back to a Category 1 cyclone before it reaches the mainland. One way or the other though, a Category 1 cyclone or a Category 2 system is still going to bring the heavy rain and wind effects that we've been forecasting. Taking a closer look at that crossing now, as I mentioned, we're expecting that to occur somewhere between Noosa and Coolangatta, most likely close to Moreton Bay. Now, at this point in time, we are expecting that crossing to occur through tomorrow morning, but as it's going to reach those offshore islands before it reaches the mainland, that crossing time may last for a significant period. It won't be like a thunderstorm moving through, which lasts for 20 minutes or an hour and then blows away. This is going to be a prolonged period with bursts of extremely heavy rain and extremely strong winds on the order of 6, 8, possibly even 9 hours. We may see some lulls through that period, but don't grow complacent because the event is likely to take a long time for it to be over. It's going to be very noisy, it's going to be very wet, and it could last for a number of hours through tomorrow, as I've said. So what are we expecting for the rest of the weekend, for tomorrow around that crossing and going into Sunday as well? Well, the heavy rainfall and strong winds will continue. This severe weather warning is current already today for that damaging to locally destructive wind gust risk and the heavy to intense rainfall. It covers much of southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales, and we're expecting to see the heavy rain and strong winds through these areas through much of the weekend. Now, wind gusts up to 120 kilometres an hour could be widespread through these areas. Just remembering that we've only seen up to 100 k's an hour at the Gold Coast. 120 k's an hour is even stronger and even more dangerous. Close to the time of crossing, we may see wind gusts up to 150 kilometres an hour close to the core of that system. Similarly, the rainfall is likely to be widespread through these warning areas, not just today, but going into tomorrow and the rest of the weekend as well, with 6-hourly rainfall totals in excess of 100 millimetres likely. 24-hour rainfall totals will really ramp up closer to that time of crossing. We may see those 24-hour totals hit 3, even 400 millimetres or more around that cyclone crossing time and the location of the crossing as well. We have significant flood products still in place, flood watches and some flood warnings for rivers which have already been upgraded to that flood warning in expectation of the rain that's to come. Now that's mainly a few rivers through northeast New South Wales sitting at moderate to major flooding, but notably the Logan River in southeast Queensland has already got a major flood warning current in expectation of those rivers rising through the weekend as the cyclone rainfall moves through the catchments. We've still got a coastal hazards warning in place from Double Island Point all the way down to Smoky Cape in New South Wales. Now this is flagging that continued risk of damaging surf and abnormally high tides. The coastal erosion, those really high tides are expected to continue through the coming days as the system approaches and then crosses the coast. Anywhere along this stretch of coast is likely to see those incredibly dangerous conditions continuing. Winds, rain and surf and swell are expected to increase through the later part of today ahead of that coastal crossing tomorrow. You can find the latest forecasts, warnings and track maps via the Bureau's website and via our weather app. Stay safe and we'll catch you in the next update.